So, would you say that you are first generation, 1.5, or second generation?
My parents immigrated in the U.S. in 1980, and I was born 1981.
I came with my parents when I was 11.
So I was 32 when I immigrated.
I moved from Taiwan to here about like 5-6 years ago for my school.
I left Korea when I was 33 years old.
My parents are the typical immigrant parents.
Working hard for their kids, trying to push us to have a better education.
I had a really strict father. My mom is more like my friend.
When they came to this country, obviously we moved to Oregon, they brought 1985 Korea with them.
I feel like I had too much influence from my parents, and I don't get to decide the things that I like,
And they want me to, settle into this America and make a friends here and get a job in America.
I went through a bit of identity crisis and I just wanted to fit in. So I think rather than appreciating, I think I just ran away from it.
I feel like my parents, they're not very open to tell me their feelings.
When you don't fit into the Korean nor American, you kind of hang out with misfits, because you don't fit in. So I got into trouble a lot. I think I've been a disappointment, to be honest.
They are proud of my, whatever my decision, whatever my choosing in here. As long as I keep it, keep respecting them and follow their tradition.
For my mom, actually, I think a couple months earlier, I visited my mom in Taiwan. So she actually had a single lens camera, which I didn't know about. I'm always interested in, photography, and she knows it. Oh, she didn't tell me like she did that too when she was young. So that camera has been sitting there for a long time. And then she told me, oh, I used to love photography.
It wasn't until when my mother came to visit after I graduated from college that I interviewed her about her life as my documentary project. Afterwards is when I realized that she too had a dream like me, and one of them was that it was her dream to have a art studio, and at that time I had an art studio in my own apartment that I was so fond of. And especially she shared with me when in high school she was in charge of a theater props, and how she was so proud of the fact that she went to the market and she saw all these lettuce from kimchi, that she used that as a forest on the back. And to hear her talk about those kind of things, it was revealing, because that's something I would have done and been very proud of. So
in Korea, man is the boss in the family. Father is always the boss in the family. And when I decide to go to college or not, and my father said, why don't you not go college and get a job and support your brothers? And my mom was against it, and then, but my mother told my father that she's gonna get a job and support me, right? But 10 years later, not 10 years later, a few years later, I found out that all the financial support was not from my mom, was from my father. So when I found that out, I was really, really thankful for my father. And he was always like, okay, man is the boss of the family. Always your brother should be the come first, but he is the one who sacrificed himself for his daughter.
I think what I would want more in my relationship with my husband and my kids is for me to be more affectionate with my future husband, so that our kids can see how loving we are towards each other. I think that's something that was lacking in our house when I was growing up, but that's something with my family, I want to make sure that I show that, like, how much the parents love each other and how much we love our kids. We want that to be more transparent.
What I would like to do is to see her as not having to change her name, for who she is as Yoona Kim, and to see herself as an international person, not just as Korean or American, but something bigger.
I'm still not sure if I'm gonna raise my kids here, so it's like an open questions. But I think it's really up to them. Like I just said, I don't want to push too hard on them. For my kids, I really want them to just be themselves. And
My hope for my kids as a Filipino American is that they don't lose the tradition and that they be proud, as I am proud of being a Filipino American.
Child's story will be different from mine. There's so many prejudice and preconception and man and woman thing, rich and poor. There's so many, dimensions that make people think or live differently. But I want him to be a real human being and always think and choose whatever he wants as a good human being, not just man and or woman. That's how I want my boy to live differently from my life.